Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You're absolutely welcome to Miss Corner. If you're new here, hi, it's so good to have you. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. Thank you. So guys, in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about my house hunting experience. I live in the northeastern part of the United Kingdom, Durham to be specific, which for those who don't know, is like 15 minutes away from Newcastle, really close to Sunderland, Middlesbrough, so Darlington, so it's just there in the northeast. And just a bit of a backstory. I moved to the United Kingdom sometime last year, and I moved here as a doctor. And so when I initially moved, I was living in the hospital accommodation. So I lived in the hospital accommodation for 3 months. I had a 6 month contract, but we were allowed to leave whenever we were ready to leave. And it was really good for me because he helped me settle in initially without having to stress about like looking for an accommodation. I didn't have to pay a deposit. It was just really a good one because then again it took off the stress and the pressure of looking for somewhere to live. So I was there for 3 months in total. I moved out earlier this year. And I'm just going to share with you guys, the houses I viewed, to give you an idea of how much houses are in the northeast, Durham specifically, and just the things I looked out for when I was house hunting here as well. So again, the backstory: the accommodation I was living in the hospital was a shared accommodation. Some hospitals are so big that they have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms in the hospital accommodation, but mine only has like 1 bedroom apartments with like shared living space and shared kitchen. But then so you get a single bedroom, your bathroom, your toilet, but then you have to share like the kitchen, the living area. So it was okay. In the kitchen, they tried their best to have like multiple fridges and freezers. We had up to six, and we also had like two gas burners or two hot plates as well, like two four-sided hot plates, so a total of eight. And because everybody had like different rotas as well, and it wasn't only doctors who lived there, like other health workers as well. So we had different rotas, so it didn't used to be like very very congested. Everybody still had like time to do their own thing, space to do their own thing. But because it was just one room and it was a small room, I just started to get cramped up. Like as I started to buy things, it just started to feel really, really tiny. Yeah, and obviously it was just a temporary thing, so I couldn't wait to move. So randomly I was on the right move Zoopla earlier in January, and I just noticed that many houses were coming up on the market. So I decided that that might be a good time to really take my house hunting seriously. So which is why I started house hunting actually. So I'm going to be sharing the 4 places I viewed and what I looked out for. I work in the A&E, and many times we finish our shift really late, sometimes as late as 12 midnight, 10 p.m. So I wanted somewhere, because I don't drive, I wanted somewhere that was reasonably close to the hospital, within walking distance if possible, because what it would mean is that I literally could just walk home and not have to spend so much on like Uber. And because most times most buses would have stopped working by midnight really, so that was my thought process. And my friend also really was like, yeah, that's what you should do, because I mean he's been working in the A&E before me, and basically was just talking to me from experience. So yeah, that's like one of the things I was looking out for. Another thing I was, kind of really looking out for was like I wanted somewhere that was furnished. But I like that majority of the places I was seeing in Durham were not. That looks like it wasn't going to be possible because again, most of the places were not furnished. I also wanted somewhere relatively affordable, although Durham is not as expensive as down south or the Midlands, so that was attainable. And I forgot to mention that in the hospital accommodation, I was paying £532 per month with bills. So it was a flat rate of 532 bills inclusive. That was all I needed to pay to sustain myself and live. So the first place I viewed, so I saw this 3 bedroom apartment house actually come up on the market. It was £650. It looks really nice. I knew I didn't need that much space, but I was just very intrigued that it was 650 and it was so big and it was so nice. I liked the fact that it was white and grey. So I booked a viewing, and I went to view. And this place was actually the farthest from the hospital, so it's my hospital is in DH1. This place is in DH7. However, it's not still too far. It's just a direct bus from the hospital, and with bus it's about 13 to 15 minutes, and then I would do like a 6 minute walk to the house. But if I was going to walk from the hospital down to the house, it's going to take nothing less than an hour. So it was too far, to be honest. But I just wanted to kick off the house viewing journey. It was really nice. You could tell that someone hadn't lived there for a while, and it was coming unfurnished. Again, I liked the kitchen. It was white and great, beautiful. But eventually the house got taken off the market the next morning. The agents, I think they weren't happy with the house owner or something like that, so they took it off the market. And I actually did put in an application. I don't even know what I was thinking because first and foremost, it's so far from everywhere. Like, I mean, if I want to get to the city center, it's just one bus. It probably would be like 20, 25 minutes. But again, it's far from work. And I wasn't very sure that Ubers would even be willing to go down there because, again, it's like outskirts of like city area, sort of. So yeah, that's how that went. I didn't eventually obviously go far with the application because they took it off the market. Then the second place I viewed was a two-bedroom house, which was about 15 minutes walk away from the hospital. I viewed this with one of my colleagues. She was actually the one who sent me the link to say, oh, we could possibly share this accommodation, and we actually thought it was coming furnished. So we went to view. I went to view because she was at work, and I didn't really like it. It was a nice house, but there were some things about it that I didn't just like the floor in the living area slash kitchen was green. As you can see, I didn't really like that. The bathroom, there was no bath, there was no shower. It was just like you bath on the floor, like water is just going directly on the floor, kind of like what you see in Nigeria. And I think the landlady is very colorful because you can just see like even the bathroom had like blue walls and all that stuff. And I wasn't really keen on it. And I also don't really like red lights. I like bright lights, which in the UK, unfortunately, you're going to see loads and loads of red lights. And because I went to view the apartment in the evening, it just looked very, very dull. And yeah, it wasn't coming furnished anyways, so I just wasn't, I wasn't keen. This house also cost £650. So yeah, I didn't put in an application for this house at all. I just kind of let it go. The third place I viewed was a one-bedroom apartment, which was about 20 minutes to 25 minutes walk from the hospital. Also had like African store about 5 minutes walk away. So this house, I really wanted to put in an offer. In fact, I did put in an offer. However, they wanted a 12-month contract, and by this time I was already 3 months into my job and didn't know if I was going to be staying on the job, if my contract was going to be renewed. So I really don't want to have to start to deal with the whole, oh, I have to leave now and then I have to find somebody to fill in my space. And I'm glad I didn't take it because if you can see from the videos, it's very tiny. So it's a bedroom, a sitting area, a bedroom, a sitting room, the kitchen, the bathroom, and toilet, but it's very tiny. I didn't mind initially because I thought that, it was going to be very cozy, but looking at that kitchen again, that kitchen was small. I don't know what I was thinking. So because I wasn't willing to do 12 months and I also couldn't do 9 months, it kind of just went and I never progressed with that anyways. Then the fourth apartment I viewed, which is the closest to the hospital, is about 5 to 7 minutes walk, is in an apartment building. The whole apartment building is owned by one landlord, like one person, one family kind of stuff. So this apartment came furnished, came with a 6 month contract, which was renewable per month. Literally everything was in here: mattress, bed, sofa, washer, dryer, everything. I literally did not need to buy anything. It was decorated, the walls had frames, everything. And it had like one bed and two beds. But by the time I came for my viewing, the one bed was gone. So it was only 2 bedrooms that were available, and I was thinking I could still share with someone at the time, which is why I eventually went for it, but that didn't work. But either way, I went for it again because it was close to the hospital, and I just like the fact that I was in an apartment building. Which is what I eventually settled for. And it was a very stressless process. All I had to do was send my landlady my BRP, my work contract, and that was it. And I paid my deposit. And I almost lost this particular apartment, although there was still one more that I viewed, because I viewed 3 apartments in this building. And I really liked this one, which is why I went for this one. And guys, by the time I called her to say, oh, I wanted to put in an offer, someone else had already called and asked for account details. And the only reason why they hadn't paid was because she had typed the text but hadn't sent it out by mistake. So as soon as I finished the call, dropped the call with her, she kind of sent me her details. I paid my deposit, and that was it. It was a very easy process. So as you can tell already, in Durham, I think it's relatively easier to house hunt compared to places like the Midlands and London. From what I've heard that in London it can be very, very competitive. people put in offers and even go above the asking price to be able to secure the property. And it might still be like this here. Maybe this is just what the experience I had. Just to mention that in addition to the things that I also looked out for, just so you know, in case you're looking for a place sometime soon, and you also want to look out for someone that has a good EPC rating. An EPC rating is basically how warm an apartment is. I think that's the easiest way to explain it, and it goes from A to G, I believe. Um, so the higher the EPC rating is, the less you would need to, spend on like your electricity bills, because it means that the house can retain heat. So you want to look out for that as well. So yeah, that's my experience with house hunting. I know it's not typically what a number of people have experienced, because I've heard again that it could be more stressful. But yeah, that was my experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Up next, you'll be seeing my moving vlog from the day I moved here. It's not very detailed, but please manage it. And then I probably will also share a video on my experience living in shared accommodation, just to kind of give some insights. Although mine again was more with professionals, so I guess it's not like the typical experience people would have. But I'll just still share anyways, because one person might just take one or two lessons from that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one, and bye.